Good evening. I would like to have roll call, please.
Mrs. Allen?
Here.
Mr. Miller?
Here.
Ms. Marcus?
Here.
Mr. Burchett?
Here.
Mrs. Witt?
Here.
Mayor Murphy?
I would like to excuse Mayor Murphy from this meeting tonight. Thank you.
Mrs. Witt?
Yes.
Mr. Burchett?
Yes.
Ms. Marcus?
Yes.
Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Mrs. Allen?
Yes. I would like to call the regular meeting October 26, 2023 to order. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Allen?
Here.
Mr. Miller?
Here.
Ms. Marcus?
Here.
Mr. Burchett?
Here.
Mrs. Witt?
Yeah, here.
Okay.
And now if you'll rise and for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Approval of minutes for the regular meeting, October 12th. If I hear no objections, it will stand. Does anyone have any changes or corrections? Hearing none, the minutes are approved. We have the council budget work session meeting October 13th, 2023, and October 23rd, 2023. We do have anyone have any objection to those minutes as printed or corrections? Hearing none, the minutes are approved as submitted. We have a special presentation, and I would like to take this time to say that you guys look wonderful. Every time we see you in your dress uniforms, it's exciting. So thank you all for being here tonight, and I don't know, is the chief coming forward? Okay.
If I could have Officers Dennis and Arriaga Perez and Land and Sergeant Lloyd to the front, please. I think the easiest way for me to explain why and what the award is to kind of paint a picture for what happened. So there were heroic actions taken by your officers on the evening of May 18th of this year. That evening had been rather unremarkable until the silence was shattered by what is normally the calm, reassuring voice of Dispatcher Brandon Pyle. This time, though, his tone was different. The first few words were different over the radio. They were hurried and excited and urgent. You could hear 911 lines ringing in the background. And before anybody knew what was wrong, everybody knew something was wrong. Someone put it later that it was more wrong than usual. Dispatcher Pyle had received numerous 911 calls and was trying to piece together bits of information. What was only described as an active shooter in one of the manufacturing facilities on Dryden Road. People were injured. There was a man with a gun. Brandon dispatched the officers, and they went, not knowing what the future would hold for them. Officer Tyler Dennis, Officer Karen Arriaga Perez, and Sergeant Lloyd were going to be the first ones on the scene. As Officer Dennis crested a nearby hill in his cruiser, he could see an entire factory full of employees pouring out the doors into a loading dock area. Running, frantic, panicked, almost a surreal, chaotic scene from a Hollywood movie. These officers arrived on the scene almost simultaneously and began making their way into the secured building. They commandeered employee access badges to get in through locked gates. They elicited the help of some of the workers and made sure the locked gates stayed open so other law enforcement officers would be able to gain access and get in. And they were quick to gather information from the employees as they ran by. Where's the shooter? Who's hurt? And they tried to reassure people that injured people that medical help was on the way. The officers ran without hesitation towards the danger. They knew they could not afford to wait on SWAT teams or tactical equipment. They ran in with the equipment on their belts, pretty much what you see here. Not knowing how many shooters or where the shooter was or what horrors they would see inside, they moved together as a team, one cohesive unit, working their way through the maze of manufacturing equipment and continued their drive towards the suspect. There were not a whole lot of words spoken between the officers as they made their way through the chaos. But because of their prior training, the officers understood their mission. They knew their roles. They knew that their role was locating, identifying, and eliminating that deadly threat. They tracked a suspect to the north wall of the building, and that suspect exited the building using the same doors the employees were fleeing from just a few seconds earlier. This area leads into another fenced-in security area. Hundreds of people were going to be trapped with the gunman who had already killed and injured multiple people inside. What was already a horrible incident could have very quickly become incredibly more devastating. Officer Paul Land arrived on the scene and was rounding the northwest corner of the building in his cruiser. The suspect could hear sirens coming. He knew he was trapped and a confrontation was going to be imminent. A few seconds before the officers were able to converge, the suspect attempted to take his own life. While the immediate threat was over, the scene remained chaotic for several more hours, and the officers handled themselves remarkably well. Watching the body camera video of their response would give you chills. It is my firm belief that the immediate, selfless, decisive actions of these responding officers saved countless lives that day. Their actions make me proud to be their chief, and they are heroes. Therefore, for their deliberate acts of heroism, which involved extreme risk to their safety, it is my honor to award them the Moraine Police Division Medal of Valor. This is the highest honor that we award here at the Moraine Police Department. And the police department actually was formed before the city became a city. The original police department was formed sometime around 1959, and this is the first time this award has ever been handed out. I would also, before we present the awards, I'd also like to give a special recognition to Dispatcher Brandon Pyle and Dispatcher Cody Allen for their actions that night. Brandon controlled all the chaos from our dispatch center, and Cody actually saw the news event taking place on the media, social media, and came in. He came in civilian clothes, walked in the door, sat down, and started taking phone calls and answering radio calls without being asked. So I appreciate that very much. Let's come closer and take pictures. You can do that, and then if you want to take individual pictures with your officer, your loved one, absolutely come up. Ask her on the phone. Go ahead. Done? Congratulations.
Yes.
Come up, take a picture with her.
So neat. Take that.
My police officers are dismissed. Thank you.
Thank you all for coming. It was very impressive. Congratulations to those of you that received that great honor. We're so proud to have you as our police officers. It's amazing. Now we'll go into the committees. Finance Committee, anything to report?
No report, thank you.
Finance Director, anything to report?
I have nothing further, except you do have my September monthly report in your packets. That's all I have. Thank you.
Committee of the Whole, anything to report?
Yes, our last meeting was on October 12th, and there will be a meeting following this meeting tonight. Thank you.
City
I have nothing beyond the written report, Deputy Mayor, unless there are any questions.
Law Director, anything to report?
No report, thank you.
And the mayor, I have the mayor's court statement for the month of September. The gross revenue was $22,588.65. Added to the general fund was $17,286.72. We have no guest speakers. We'll go into the business.
We have no ordinances this evening. We have Resolution 7980-23, a resolution authorizing a 3-year agreement with MedAccount Management Incorporated for EMS revenue recovery services with an effective commencement date of January 1st, 2024.
This resolution approves a 3-year agreement with MedAccount Management for EMS billing services within the city's fire department. Their submission was determined to be the lowest and best proposal of bids for the EMS revenue recovery services agreement. Motion to approve.
You've heard the motion. Are there any questions or comments? Will you please call the roll?
Ms. Marcus?
Yes.
Mr. Burchett?
Yes.
Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Mrs. Allen?
Yes.
Mrs. Witt?
Yes.
Resolution 7981-23, a resolution authorizing the submittal of an application for federal FAST Act funds through the Miami Valley Regional Planning Commission for the South Dixie Drive Resurfacing Phase 2 project.
This resolution approves the submission of an application to the Miami Valley Regional Planning Commission for funding consideration in the Transportation Improvement Program. This submission would be for Phase 2 of the South Dixie Drive Resurfacing Project. Motion to approve.
You've heard the motion. Are there any questions or comments? Will you please call the roll?
Mr. Burchett?
Yes.
Ms. Marcus?
Yes.
Mrs. Witt?
Yes.
Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Mrs. Allen?
Yes.
Do we have anyone appearing before council? Sharon? So any other business? We'll go with the fire department. Anything to report?
No, ma'am, I just wanted to make aware everybody that it's almost Beggars Night, for people to be aware of them while they're out driving around. Make sure that children have bright costumes, either flashlights or glow sticks, so they can be seen.
Thank you. Police department, anything to report after that excitement?
Yes, ma'am. Sunday, November 5th, it's time to turn our clocks back, which also means we have to replace our batteries and our smoke detectors. So just a reminder. Thank you.
Building and maintenance department, anything to report?
No, ma'am, nothing at this time, thank you.
Street department, we don't have anybody back there. Parks and Rec, anything to report?
Yes, just bear with me for a second here. I got a lot going on. I just want to thank everyone for coming to Boo Bash and everybody that helped support it this year. It was incredible. I just want to thank the citizens, the vendors, the local businesses, council support, and my staff. A lot goes into it. A lot of months of preparation went into that, and my staff absolutely knocked it out of the ballpark. So kudos to them. On Tuesday night is the community Halloween party. It starts at 8 o'clock or after Beggars Night. We'll start the costume contest between 8:15 and 8:30. This Saturday is the disc golf event up at Deer Meadow Park. Starts at 11 a.m. I'm sure Mr. Miller will probably be there. Also, the Gospel Sing is next Friday night for anybody that's interested. The doors open at 5 and singing starts at 6. And then also do not forget, November 7th is Election Day. So the Rec Center will be hosting, and we'll take any signs that are put out on our property, we will take them down. So fair warning to everybody, if we see signs out on our property, we will pull them. So other than that, that's all I got. Thank you.
City manager, anything to report?
I have nothing further, thank you.
Law director, anything to report?
No, ma'am, thank you.
Finance director, anything to report?
Nothing else, thank you.
Clerk of council, anything to report?
I have nothing, thank you.
Mrs. Allen?
Yes, I'd like to thank Brent and his staff for another successful Boo Bash event. I still have, still getting comments about that when I go out to eat or at the grocery store. So thank you so much.
Mrs. Marcus?
Yes, I'd like to congratulate our police officers for their actions on May 18th. And their well-deserved commendations here. And also, I'd like to remind people that Trick or Treat is on the 31st of this year. And then we have the Halloween party afterwards. The Bob Rosencrantz Halloween party will start at 8 o'clock. Thank you, that's all.
Mr. Miller, anything to report?
Just to echo, yeah, I had a lot of residents that just said Boo Bash was fantastic, so great job on that. Encourage everyone to get out and vote on this election. We got a couple state issues that's very controversial, so all I can say is research it. I've had 20 or 30 of my constituents come complaining about, the evil abortion, state issue 1. So to be as neutral as I can on it, I just encourage them to go to the Secretary of State, Frank LaRosa's website, as it'll explain everything about the constitutional amendment, the pros, the cons. And I just encourage the residents to get out there and vote, and don't be passive about it. Because this state issue 1 is going to affect not just Marine residents, but Ohioans for the next 100 years. So your vote will determine what you feel the morals and values of the state of Ohio are going to be. Or you're going to end up like the state of Michigan. Just ask how that's turning out.
Right.
And congratulations to all the police officers and the dispatchers as well for their awards and how they reacted in a very serious situation, very professionally, and obviously could have been a lot worse. So congratulations to them.
Yes.
Thank you.
Mr. Burchett, anything to report?
Yes, thanks to Park and Rec, the Boo Bash was really great. And I also like to send my congratulations to the police. They did a very good job.
And I would just like to echo everything that was said about Halloween night, Boo Bash. When the chief was reading about what they went through, I'm sitting here almost in tears because where I live and Don, we had all that equipment going. We knew something major was going down, but it was probably, I think Mike made us aware within about 40 minutes what was going on. And then we really, I just started praying for the people because I knew how bad it could be. And I don't know how many of you saw today in Maine how bad it got there, 18 people killed. So that could very well have happened that night had it not been for the quick actions of our police officers. And I'm always so extremely proud of our police and fire departments. They go over, and not that I'm not proud of all the other departments, you do a great job, but they actually put their lives on the line for us. And I appreciate it as a citizen, I appreciate it as a council member. And I would just like to thank them again for everything they do. And they're worthy of all of our praise, I will tell you that. Thank you, and don't forget to go vote. I would like to thank the Miami Valley Cable Communications Council for broadcasting this meeting live as well as any future rebroadcast. This regular council meeting is adjourned at 6:23 p.m. Thank you.